Hi guys, welcome to my channel Lush Gardener. I hope you guys are fine and are safe. So in this video I'm going to show you how to multiply succulents faster. Now again guys, when I'm saying faster, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen super fast. By now we all know how succulents tend to grow. They have a very slow growing period. Now over here I have my Propagation Purple Delight. This is one of the easiest succulent and very easy to propagate. So what I'm going to do is I will be doing a stem cutting for this particular succulent, and I'm going to show you how to multiply it, and it's going to take over a couple of months for it to get propagated and have the growth. So I'm going to put everything in this one video to show you how the progress starts. So over here I have, it's very well hydrated. There are no wrinkles. This is something that you have to ensure that all of the leaves are well hydrated before you do any kind of stem cutting, because if you're going to have a dehydrated succulent, it will further worsen your propagation. So before you go ahead and do a stem cutting, ensure that your succulent is well hydrated. Now let me quickly cut this off. So I'm just going to chop it right over here so that I have enough of the stem area for the cutting. So I'm just going to chop it off, and that's it. We have the stem, very fresh. We have the stem and we have the cutting. So now we have the cutting over here. The next thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some cinnamon powder, dry cinnamon powder. I'll take a little bit and put it on the cut area. Again, this is optional. If you have cinnamon powder, you can do this. If you do not have cinnamon powder, it's absolutely normal. But the most important thing is that this stem should not come in contact with any water, should not come in contact with any moisture, should be kept in indirect bright light, or you can keep it in shade. But the moment you start noticing that the pups are appearing, then you'll have to give it a good amount of indirect bright light. Until the pups, if you don't see any pups, you can keep it in shade in a place where there is a good amount of air circulation, there is good shade and it's cooler. You can place it over there. But the moment you start noticing that there are pups, you'll have to keep it in indirect but bright light. Do not expose it to direct sunlight. Now coming to the mother plant that we have just cut. Let's not ignore her. We will put some dry cinnamon powder on the cut as well. There we go. So we are done. We can tap off the excess into the pot itself. Now the same thing applies. The one that is in the pot, we do not expose it to any moisture, or we do not water it. The same thing goes with the cutting as well. Do not expose it to any moisture. Do not water it right away. You have to wait for the roots to appear. Only then you can water it. But because this is already a succulent, so we cannot keep it in shade, otherwise it will start to stretch. So this has to be kept in a place where there is a good amount of indirect bright light for at least 8 to 9 hours, where there is a good amount of air circulation and the place is slightly cooler. We want to place it over there so that the wound can heal faster. Now we have already put the dry cinnamon powder, so this is going to faster the process of callus, and after which the roots will appear. So this is how we have to do the cutting. Now whenever the progress happens, I will definitely keep you updated, but it is going to take a very long time. So I already have another Propagation Purple Delight that I had done a cutting some time back. So I'm going to show you how it tends to look like. So this is going to take a very long time. Probably it will take a couple of months, but I already have another one. This is also the Propagation Purple Delight that I had done the stem cutting some time back. And these two that you're seeing are the pups. Now over here, this is the place where we had done the cutting. You can see this is the stem where we had done the cutting, and the pups have come up on the side portion. Now because these are already of a good size, we can go ahead and separate them. So let me first locate where the stem is, and then just chop it off. If few leaves tend to fall, it's absolutely normal. There is nothing to be worried about. And I'm going to chop off this portion as well. And there we go. We have one, and we have the second one. So you can see from that stem what we had cut, it's going to end up like this. Now we have done a cutting on the stem. There's a little bit of probably mealybugs, but that's absolutely fine. So we have done the cutting. So now we have another 2 of the pups. I'll have to do a little bit of cleaning here and there. Now the succulent has a little bit of mealy bugs, which we will clear it off. Now they are slightly stretched because they were not getting a lot of light, but as and when I'm going to start doing a slow introduction of morning direct sunlight, they will start to get better. But right now I'm going to keep them in indirect bright light because we have cuts. We have to let the cuts callus. We're going to keep it aside an indirect bright light because again we cannot keep it in shade because they already are succulents. If there is lack of light, they will start to stretch further. So we are going to keep them in indirect but bright light. So probably I'll keep them under a green net where there is a good amount of filtered sunlight but not direct sunlight. So now in couple of months what's going to happen is we have 2 stem cuttings which is again going to have the pups. So as you can see how easily we can multiply our succulents. So now here we have these 2 stems. I will also put some cinnamon powder because I did see some mealy bugs. So I'm going to add some cinnamon powder and I'm going to put it in the soil as well a little bit, and there we go. So we are done. So now we have 2 cut stems which in couple of months is going to generate some more pups. Probably 2, probably 3 depending upon the stem. So right now after cutting we have 3 of the succulents. Now probably in another few months, if the pups tend to come up on the stem, we might turn out to have double the Graptopetalum purple delight that we have currently. So as you can see, it's pretty simple. Now I understand a lot of people might say, well, it does not work out really well for us. Don't worry guys, initially when I had started, I also had the same issues what you guys are facing. As a beginner, when you have less experience, it is a very common thing that will happen. But as and when you start experimenting, as and when you start gaining some experience, all of these things are going to turn out to be very, very simple. Guys, that's all about it. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe and keep propagating.